What's up? I'm AJ and welcome back to Gen Z Garage. In this episode, we're going to be restoring the cowl and the rest of the front end, including the headlights. But first, I unfortunately have to get this off even though it looks so nice. So let's get started.
One of the first things we did is remove the hood. While it wasn't in bad shape, removing it gives us easy access to the rest of the front and allows me the opportunity to restore it similarly to the deck lid. If you want to see that video, I've linked it at the top. I begin by removing the headlight doors. The car was previously repainted, but generally not well masked off. So there's a lot of overspray on the underside, and that's what I intend to take care of. With both headlight doors removed, I move on to the hood hinges. Remember to keep track of how these are installed. Unlike most Fiero parts, they are not labeled left or right, so I recommend taking pictures before you remove them. One indicator is a little bump out that each hinge has, which allows you to tell the difference between the two.
Very versatile female. I like makeup and dressing up and being fancy, but then also cars and things that are stereotypically masculine.
I then remove the other side, as well as the hood latch.
Sticky. Ew, it has a weird texture. Ew.
With all brackets and bump stops removed, I clean the entire inside of the hood with a fiberglass safe degreaser and use a green abrasive scrubbing pad to knock off any dirt or imperfections in the surface. I make sure to clean every inch of the hood that I can. Unlike the deck lid, the hood is not damaged, but it is still dirty, so I need to get it cleaned up before I can paint it. I also need to remove any stickers that are on here, since I'll be replacing those too.
Nothing fixes the vehicle. Oh, it's a lot of steps. It's a lot of steps to change a wheel. I just unscrewed everything and put the tire back on.
With the stickers removed, I then use Eastwood's Paint Prep Spray to remove any remaining wax or oils from every single inch of the underside of the hood. When dry, I then begin applying the Green Painter's Frog Tape along the inside edge of the entire hood. Because the hood consists of an inside SMC and outside SMC layer, there's a small gap that I can typically fit the tape in. And this is the delineation between the exterior paint and the underside paint. Although not shown, we lean the hood up against the sawhorse and paint it with Marhide satin trim paint. This is the same paint we used on the underside of the deck lid, and it is a perfect match for the original paint and texture. We allowed the hood to dry for several hours, and I reinstalled the stickers and hardware.
Oh my god.
It's worth mentioning, I discovered a factory sticker that was painted over at the factory. The hood and deck lid were manufactured by a different company, and both were labeled with individual serial numbers upon delivery. I masked this off and allowed it to be exposed after repainting the hood. With the hood removed, I can now begin disassembly of the front, starting with the radiator fan assembly. This is held on by 4 10mm screws and a wiring harness. Next, I remove the upper radiator support bracket. This is held in place by 2 13mm screws on either side. With these removed, the upper radiator cover just lifts up and out. I can now remove the radiator, which is only held in place by the 2 hoses, which have already been disconnected. It begins to rain, so I push the car inside, get changed, and begin working on the headlight assemblies once the rain subsides. I previously posted a video of the headlight assembly restoration, though at this point in the video, I'd not yet restored them. The link to that video is at the top. I then remove the passenger side headlight as well. Next, I remove the aftermarket antenna, which I intend to keep.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Nothing happens, so I move on. I will be removing the front nose, bumper, and everything attached, so I start with the parking and indicator side markers so that I can get to the screws that hold in the bumper shell. With the screws removed, the socket twists out and the lens is removed. Next, I remove some of the side retaining screws. I repeat this on the other side. Next, I begin removing the screws that hold the top of the nose to the frame. There are several of these. They are unique to this application, so I clean, restore, and paint them for installation later. Make sure you don't lose these. Next, I remove all the bolts and hardware from underneath the nose, so I can disconnect that next.
Left hand will be super strong after this.
With the lower bolts removed, I can now remove the nose. Oddly enough, the honeycomb impact panel was already disconnected. I just lift up and pull the nose off the car. I take the nose out into the grass and remove all of the brackets for reconditioning. And then pressure wash the entire inside to get years of dirt and grime off. I clean this up and get it ready for installation later on. Next, I remove the turn signal lenses, which are both unfortunately cracked, but I have good replacements, which I'll show later. I then remove the AC condenser, which is held on by 4 bolts and 2 AC lines. This is the original and far too worn, so it goes right into the recycling bin.
I don't think it fits, but it's okay.
As you saw previously, the original bumper had a lot of surface rust, though the rest of the front was in good shape. My dad and I previously had the opportunity to visit the original Fiero factory in Tony, Alabama. Although Ed and Rosie Parks are no longer with us, Jeremy allowed us a rare opportunity to visit the location while we were on vacation. While there, I picked up a few parts for my Fiero, including a rust-free original front bumper. I'll do a separate Fiero factory tour in a later video. I plan to use the newer rust-free bumper from the Fiero factory, but the only thing I needed from the old bumper is a plate that was welded into the front for that specific year and model. I finished drilling out the spot welds and then sand down both sides of the plate with a wire wheel attachment on my power drill. Eventually, I weld this plate back into the bumper before repainting the entire thing. Next, I remove the lower radiator support, and with that, the front end is totally disassembled and I can begin cleanup. The front of the car is actually in pretty good shape. What little surface rust there is, I knock down with a wire wheel on a power drill. We unbolt the front fenders from the frame, and then degrease and give the entire front frame a sponge bath while my dad randomly walks around doing stuff in the garage. I mask off the front fenders with painter's paper, and hit the frame both inside and out with black metal etching primer from U-Paul.
Anti-rust, I'll never get rust in my lungs.
When I'm confident that I've painted everything, I give it an hour to dry, then go back over the entire frame with VHT chassis black epoxy paint. Although not shown, I also pull back the fenders so that I can paint the upper front frame rails as well. While everything is drying, I begin tackling the cowl area, starting with the windshield wipers. It may seem confusing, but removing these wipers is actually really simple. There's a little hole in the base of the wiper where you insert a similarly sized dowel or drill bit. Pulling back the wiper allows you to slide the drill bit in, which releases the tension on the clip that holds it down. I can then simply wiggle the wiper back and forth and it comes right off. Next, I unscrew the hood spring, which is also holding down the cowl. Then remove the hood latch surround. And then the 4 screws that hold the cowl panel to the base of the windshield bracket. Finally, I cut the windshield washer tank hoses, which I'll be replacing with new hoses anyways. And then with the 2 tree clips removed, the cowl lifts up and off. I then vacuum and clean the cowl. Although not shown, I also mask off, prime, and paint the cowl area, re-grease the wiper mechanism, resealed the cowl drains, and finally installed a newly painted cowl with brand new windshield washer hose. I painted the cowl panel using Marhide satin trim paint. This is the correct finish to this panel and will properly resist the sun rays over time. I install new stainless hold-down screws, new Fiero store tree clips, the reconditioned hood spring, and reinstalled the wiper arms, which I repainted. I also installed new wiper blades. Finally, I also installed the new Frunk seal and cowl gasket. With the cowl complete, I moved back to the front bumper area and installed the lower radiator support. Like the upper support, it's held in place using two 13mm nuts on either side. Next, I install the new AC condenser isolator nuts, which must go in before the condenser. With these in place, I install my brand new AC condenser from Rock Auto and use the new hardware I got from the Fiero store. I then followed up with my new 3-core all-aluminum radiator, which has more capacity and better cooling than the stock one. I installed my reconditioned upper radiator support, which I sanded and painted, installed new warning stickers, and even a new shroud kit from the Fiero store. This tightens down using two 13mm screws on either side. I also go with a brand new NOS GM 15 PSI radiator cap. Keep in mind that newer replacement caps are different than the original design. As shown between the two images, the newer design has a much smaller mating surface and is far more likely to leak under pressure. Make sure your replacement cap looks like the one on the right. I also install the reconditioned clip nuts into the upper and lower brackets for the radiator fan. I reinstall the new silicone cooling hoses in the front and use wider stainless no-cut hose clamps. I went with the silicone hoses in the front because they're more durable and more resilient. Next, I install the fan shroud and reinstall it with new hardware from the Fiero store. I move down to the bumper area and prep it for installing the bumper I reconditioned. The original mounting hardware was shot, so I got rust-free bumper bolts and nuts from Mike's Fiero Parts in Arizona. With everything ready to go, I reinstall the bumper and tighten everything back down. I also install replacement turn signal lenses. The original ones on my car were damaged, and I was able to pick up undamaged replacements from the Fiero factory during my visit. I also used reconditioned screws, along with new push nuts from the Fiero store and brand new Sylvania bulbs from Rock Auto. I hook everything back up and test it out. Doesn't that look nice?
Yay!
I now move on to the front bumper and reattach the alignment bracket with my reconditioned screws. The original bracket actually had some rust pitting, so I bought a replacement from Mike's Fiero Parts in Arizona and sanded and painted it before installing. Before I can install the nose, I need to reinstall the honeycomb impact panel, which had previously been unattached. I reattached this using brand new plastic clips from, you guessed it, the Fiero store. They're a little hard to get in, but I used needle nose pliers to get them into the hole, and then the back of the hammer to press it in. It starts raining again because it's Florida, of course, so I push the car in a bit more and reinstall the nose. It takes a little bit of shifting it around to align it, but once it's in place, I then start reinstalling the reconditioned upper mount screws. I'm now ready to reinstall the hood. I pull my dad away from his computer and enlist his help to help reinstall the hood. I place towels along the nose and fenders so that I can protect the paint on both the hood and fenders from damage. While my dad holds the hood in place, I reinstall the hinge nuts. I ended up going with a set of new hardware from the Fiero store. The new nuts weren't galled up and had already had the original flatback painting coating with the original GM ones. I do final adjustments while my dad lifts the hood, and I use my impact gun to quickly tighten them down to port specification. It's worth mentioning that we replaced several seals. I went with a new latch surround from Metro Molded Parts, as well as sunroof retaining gaskets. Next, I installed the new radiator overflow tank. The previous one was cracked, stained, and was being held in place using a zip tie. The new one came as a kit from the Fiero store, which comes with a new hose, clamp, some retaining nuts, and even a new overflow tank cap. Next, I install new amber-colored LED bulbs into my brand new turn signal lenses. LEDs can usually only be installed one way, so it's worth testing them before you put everything back together. My dad flips the switch as I tighten down the reconditioned factory torque screws. Next, I move on to the horns. The old horns were badly rusted and impossible to recondition, so I purchased a really nice brand new set from Harbor Freight for under $40. I install them while reruns of Unsolved Mysteries plays in the background. I really am a child that should have been born in the 80s. Now let's give them a little test. Last but not least, I installed reconditioned clip nuts and installed the reconditioned lower grille. Next, I install a used lower chin spoiler. These are unobtainium, so while this one isn't perfect, it's the best one I could find, so it'll have to do. I stick a little roadside emergency kit in the front that my dad gave me, and with that, my friends, the front end is finished.
Thank you for watching. In this ending of the trilogy of everything in the front minus the suspension, we have completed the radiator, the hood, the lights, the horn. So that's pretty cool. We're like one step closer to this car being done, which is pretty awesome. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, because there will only be more cars, more cool car videos and cars. There's a lot of cars. If you like cars, you know, you should go to SEMASAN.com, because they are helping protect the classic car hobby. I think it's in May. I'm going to be going down to DC with them, and I'm going to be interviewing my congressman over car stuff. So I'll make a video about that. If you want to see that, you know, you got to subscribe. You know, I don't make the rules. So we're one step closer to this car being done. This is really exciting. It looks really nice. I love how it's turning out, and now I can do cool things like this and this. Wait. So that's pretty awesome. If you want to see me be able to do even more stuff with this cool car, then I suggest you like and subscribe. And I hope I see you in the next video. Hi. Whoa.